What's up, people? Welcome to a brand new edition of Wrestle Update. I'm your host, as always, Dylan Fox. And for the first time ever, I have an extremely special guest on. Nello would have been here, and we would have talked about it and had a fun time, and we'll probably talk about it at some point in the future as well. Not as in-depth as we will today, but I'll ask him what he thought, and if he saw me on camera as well. That's the real news scoop here. If you saw me on camera or not, please let us know. But instead of the usual format, the usual episode of the show, we have a very special edition of the show because for the first time ever, joining me is my dear sister, my younger sister, Cheyenne, the one who named Wrestle Update. You got to let me finish. I'm putting you over, Cheyenne. I have to tell the people that you are the one who named this show.
I was nervous. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep saying good things about me.
She is the one that wanted to go to the show and got me. As everyone knows, I'm a hermit. I try not to see and talk to people too much, but I came here. We got to the show. Cheyenne wanted to see it, the first ever show in her hometown, my birthplace, Clarksville, Tennessee. First ever WWE show. And of course, that meant NXT came to Clarksville in the F&M Bank Arena. And as I said, the one who named the show, named Wrestle Update, when me and Scott were in a pinch originally, and also is my co-host on my Patreon show for my other podcast, Eastern Lariat, which is all about Japanese wrestling. We do have a show on there which only specifically talks about the wrestling anime Tiger Mask W as we get through it. And we are over halfway through with the series, and hopefully we can get on with that as well. But Cheyenne, it's good to have you on. I've been pushing for this for a while now. You've been nervous. I keep telling you not to be nervous, but you're going to do great. So just tell everybody, you're my sister. You're the real one.
I'm really his sister. It's not a lie.
You're not an imposter at the end of the day. You were on the wrestling forum with us, Wrestling Click, before, remember? They thought you were me on that.
I do remember that. That was funny. They thought it was a lie.
They should have known better when you started talking about TNA in depth, because that's not something I would ever do on a normal level on there. But you were the TNA poster for that weird time period, for sure. You brought it back. I believe you. You played the arcade games on there?
I did. I did the games. I like the games. I mostly went there for the games.
That was a long time ago, though. But right now...
Remember there was the group watching the Power Rangers? I was there for that, too.
Oh, yeah. We are big Power Ranger fans in this household. And on that one, I've watched... Well, I stopped probably over 10 years ago now, with Dino Thunder, I think. No, it was Dino Charge is what it was. Dino Thunder was the Disney Channel one. But no, after that I dropped off, so I'm not really a Power Rangers fan in terms of the modern era, but I still have many great memories of the Power Rangers in the past. What was your favorite season, though, Cheyenne? I forget what you said was your favorite.
SPD
Emergency. Yeah, I got you. That was a good one. Doggy Kruger. Hey, SPD was the jam. I like Ninja Storm was my favorite, but we're young enough to where we're not beholden to the original Mighty Morphin, which is fine. Like, I like it at all, but we like the Disney era of the Power Rangers, like the Ninja Storms and the SPDs and the Dino Thunders. All of that was there. That was our shows, but this is not about Power Rangers, Shia. This is about wrestling, and particularly NXT, your first ever wrestling show that you've been to live.
Yep, it was.
That's right. And the first as an adult that I was a fan of and not wrestling on, which was really weird. I didn't tell you about that much, but I was all for my feelings. I was kind of emoing out, to be honest with you, about it. But F&M Bank Arena, this is a pretty new place in Clarksville, right? You are a Clarksville citizen, a Clarksville expert. What do you think of the arena in terms of how was it nice? Did you like it? Getting in was pretty easy, I thought.
Yeah, it was nice. I mean, it wasn't complicated to get to the seats. You walk through the doors, and it's pretty It's right there. You go left, you go right. It was nice. I liked it. It was which the show NXT only used half of the arena for seating.
Yeah.
And the other half they used for, the backstage stuff or whatever. But I thought the seats were really good. I was really happy with the seats. Even if we had got like the cheaper seats in the corner, we still would have had a great view of the arena. So it was good. The drinks were very expensive though.
That was the part that I hated. I mean, come on, man, $6 for a small icy, and you were the one who convinced me that I paid for, by the way.
No, because I wasn't prepared for them to not take cash. I gave you the money for it. Okay.
And you have not paid me back for the ticket either, so don't try and lie to the listeners right now.
I am making payments on the ticket before you really interrupted me. It was a 3-hour show. Plus we were screaming and shouting and chanting. Like, there's no way that you would have not gotten thirsty.
I played it cool. I don't know what you're talking about. I was in my seat the whole time.
Lies. Lies.
But, no, actually, well, Clarksville for its first time ever wrestling event. So, how are you feeling when they announced it here for the first time ever? Coming to Clarksville, NXT, you never thought this day would come.
I did not, but I knew we had to go. I knew you had to go. I knew you would like it. I knew, so
it was right after my birthday too, so like that matched up pretty well for it.
But it got announced though, like in December?
Yeah, but they announced it would be right after my birthday as well. So like that's a good timing overall for everything. It gives us a good excuse. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Clarksville, the first time in your hometown, you want to see it. I totally get that. But that said, we do have to explain a secret here to people. You were not that familiar with NXT. And even some people on this show you had never seen before you came here.
I was not. We like a week ago, Dylan joined me for some history of NXT, and we caught up leading up.
It was literally 2 episodes that we watched. Yeah, I literally went over. We watched with our grandma, who we thought was going to come at first, but she was too sick to come, unfortunately. We watched literally 2 episodes of this.
And I learned
very little.
The only people I didn't know at the show were Dijak and Gacy. Never heard of them before. Didn't know them. And then I had heard of Lyra, but I hadn't seen her.
Yeah.
And I had no idea who Lola Vice was at all.
Okay. And the rest we had at least seen or heard of.
Yeah, well, I knew Baron Corbin. I like him. I like Baron. And I knew Roxy because I've seen Roxy before, and you really love Roxy.
Oh, huge fan.
Yeah. And I've heard of Ilya Dragunov from
He was on the show. He literally walked out with the title. I think was his appearance on the show that we watched.
I know him from Wrestling Card.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're a supercard. Cheyenne is a supercard expert. Okay.
I don't know about that. I have a lot of stars, but
see, she's trying to be all modest, but she is a true fan when it comes to the supercard. But Ilya's got a lot of fans on Cage Match. The site we're gonna post this on. Like Germans run the site. They everybody loves them. There's a lot of listeners that are from Germany and stuff, or at least have a lot of association with it. And WXW, where Ilya came from, same places like Gunther and all that stuff. Ilya wrestled in front of these guys in Germany for like years before he came to WWE.
I was gonna say something but it's stupid, so I'm not gonna say it. And then.
Oh, well, thanks for letting us know that. You could have just moved on without saying that, but you do you, Shine. You are in charge right now of yourself.
No, Ilya was German.
He does the Russian thing, right? So
Yeah, Russian.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying he wrestled in Germany. He's Dragunov's Russian name.
Well, I know, but didn't you just say he was from Germany?
He wrestled in Germany and lived there and all that stuff.
Okay,
There.
technically wrong.
Whatever. Like he has a long history in Germany is all I'm saying. Like from the wrestling. Like it doesn't matter the specifics.
I don't care. I'll take my technicality as a win. I'm not a. And then I knew Dragon Lee. I've seen him before.
Yeah.
And Carmelo, because I remember Mello Don't Miss, right?
Yeah, he was in the Rumble too. But you did watch the Royal Rumble as well. We do have to mention that this year.
Yeah, but the last time I saw him, way like the last time I watched NXT, I don't think Trick was wrestling or a big wrestler then.
He was kind of like the sidekick back then. Yeah.
I learned everything I needed to know about NXT a week ago for the show.
Yeah, if we had watched the last 2 episodes, you might have known even more at the end, but we got cut off for reasons. So the fact is that the long story, like you went into this whole diatribe. The point of it is you're a fresh pair of eyes, for NXT, right? You would say you're not like a tried and true, watch every week, know ins and outs of everything. You're a fresh set of eyes,
Yeah, because remember when we were talking about it before we watched the episodes?
Yeah.
I was naming off all these people I thought were in NXT, and then you told me no, all those people are in AEW, and I was like,
yeah.
Man, I don't know anything about NXT.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Like when you were, I don't think you were ever really a huge NXT watcher.
I was not. I never really jumped on the NXT train.
Yeah. But you're a casual fan of wrestling in general, I would say.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan. I don't really know a lot about wrestling, skill wise. First.
Yeah, but you just want but you have fun at the show though.
Well, yeah, I like it. I like watching. I like wrestling. I enjoy it.
When you were a kid, you watched it every week, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We watched. But when I get the I just don't have like the opportunity really to watch it.
But the thing is, Shine, you got to understand, a lot of people are like that with the weekly shows. Like not because I mean, if you look at it, Raw, NXT, SmackDown, AEW, 2 shows, Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. 3 shows. I almost forgot about Rampage for a second. I apologize to AEW for that. Impact is on. TNA now is back on. Which you were shocked by when Jordan Grace came back to Royal Rumble. Her reaction was like, TNA still around?
Yeah, I did. I thought they were gone. I did.
You wrote their head, you put the nail in the coffin and they refused to die. But the fact is, like, all of those shows, I mean, you're looking at 12, 15 hours of wrestling just on TV, let alone, from Japan and all that stuff, and Mexico if you want to watch it, and UK. So, I mean, there's a lot on, and a lot of these weekly shows, it's not that big of a deal to a lot of people, So a lot of people skip out on even Raw, let alone NXT.
Well, I mean, I like the weekly shows. I just don't really I don't have the time really to watch.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, like with 15, 16, 20 hours of TV, stuff is going to go by the wayside.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's watching wrestling 24/7. Like, they've got other stuff they want to do,
I mean, like, I read a lot, and then I go to bed early. I go to bed 9 o'clock.
I understand, Sean. Nobody's judging you. It's like, that's the whole point of this. It's like, you're cool. Like, it's okay to not watch every week. But, like, from a casual fan perspective, though, I think that gives you a different insight than me, for sure, who, like, wrestling and sports is all I know. Or Nello, even, who was at another show he's in the west side of the country. He was at another show at the same time NXT was going on. We were actually texting back and forth during the show going on there.
Where was he at?
He was at you wouldn't have heard of this, I don't think, but there was an indie company called GCW.
Never.
But yeah, I mean, it's an indie company. But he was there at the show, watching that. So if you were at the GCW show, you might have saw Nello, there. He showed me, he was looking out for Rina Yamashita, Microman, all the stars of GCW there. But we were texting back and forth on that. And the fact is, we know a lot of these guys, even Deadline, and again, it shows that you are not a Wrestle Update listener, unfortunately, Cheyenne, here, because on the Deadline review me and Nello did, he also didn't see a lot, like, he hadn't seen a lot of these people on there for the first time. So it's a good perspective to have, and a very normal one. I want to let you know that right off the bat here. But, so, we get into the arena. Your dad brought us there. And would you explain the way, so the way this worked is there's two buildings next to each other. There's the F&M Bank Arena, and on the backside is the Ice Center that they have there, which is like for hockey or something. I think these host Austin P stuff, which is like the local college in Clarksville. But we had to go around. At first, I thought you were leading us to the Ice Center, which they told us not to do. But then we went up the hill to get there. And when we got in, like you said, very easy, like no long line or anything like that. The drinks cost. Huh?
I know you did not trust me at all. You were like, why are we going this way? We're going the wrong way. Where are you taking me?
I thought you were leading me to get jumped by somebody, Cheyenne. I'll be honest with you.
Steep hill, though.
Yeah, it was a steep hill. It was okay, though. Like I said, we got through. Everything was safe. We got there good. Very disappointed about the drinks and all that. But we walk in. What did you think of the setup they had now? So you see the stage. They had the big WrestleMania sign, too. There, you can see that on camera. I'm sure they showed that on the TV a bunch of times. Or on Peacock. What did you think of the first thing you said to me was you took off your glasses and you said, I don't know if it's just me or if it's really hazy in here.
Well, no, I said I can't tell if my glasses are dirty.
Yeah.
Or it's really smoky in here.
Yeah, and they had these red lights on.
But yeah, for the atmosphere.
It made me I felt like we were walking into the nether realm when we went there. And if you look at yeah.
And fun fact, I didn't tell you this. I don't know why I'm going to tell you this now, but I am just for content. But you know, like the big WrestleMania sign that they had up?
Yeah.
And you know how like they show it on TV or whatever?
Yeah.
I thought that it was just a graphic they showed on television. I didn't realize it was an actual sign.
Oh, this goes to tell you how like the live experience was new. This is another thing. After the first match, like they took the mat off and replaced the mat. And you didn't know that was something they did.
No, I'm like, what, do they do this after every match? I didn't know that.
Well, they don't ever show that on TV at the end of the day, like them peeling the ring back. But yeah, that's something I've seen done a million times. And yeah, it was for safety purposes, of course. Like if you don't know, like after a match, you're on there sweating and bumping. A lot of guys don't wrestle in tops; they'll just have bare skin or whatever. So it prevents like ringworm or anything like that. You won't catch that if you replace the mat. Sweaty and spit and God knows what else is on the mat. It's just for health purposes overall to be hygienic. Did you like the stage and stuff? The ring? We weren't in the back. Like Cheyenne was saying, even if we were in the back row, it would have been good seats. But we were actually on the hard camera side. If you look hard enough, you could see us on there. I had the Grizzlies jersey. Cheyenne was in a beanie on there. So if you look, especially on the entrance, because we weren't on like right where the camera was, they had to go back a little bit and zoom up. Like we were on the row right above the normal row on the hard camera. But it was a good vibe though. Good feelings were had about the whole show. A lot of people were wearing Grizzlies jerseys and stuff that we walked into as well. Which, I mean, it makes sense. Like we're right outside of Memphis, like not that far from there. But a lot of people were like, I went up to some guy, was like, man, like another Grizzlies fan. And we were talking about the main event and who we wanted and stuff. And even after the show, somebody was like, go Grizzlies. When I was like, hey, did you enjoy the show? So a lot of Grizzlies love, which was one of my highlights for sure.
And, and there was a lot of people in CM Punk shirts.
We did see a few CM Punk shirts. It wasn't like overwhelming, but we did see a couple for sure. There was definitely a few CM Punk shirts that I saw. I sat next to, because again, like we said, our grandma couldn't come, so Mama wasn't there. So instead, we had an empty couple of seats next to us, and then from there, the guy that was sitting right next to me, he looked exactly like Katsuhiko Nakajima before he cut his hair. And he got up a couple of times, very respectful, when he was shifting through the ropes. He was always like, "Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me, blah, blah, blah." And I always said, when anybody did that, I was like, "Don't say sorry, man. Let's go. We're having fun. It's all good." And all that. We don't need no apologies. You need to get some beer. You need to get some, go to the bathroom, whatever you need. It's all good. But
that's really polite. I noticed that as well.
Yeah. And so it was very nice. Everybody was nice that we were with. It was a good vibe. There. We did see a bunch of people with titles, like replica belts. This one guy had like 2 or 3 belts on his own. And I was like, what? Like, this is nuts. There. Where we were at, though, we were kind of like under the big screen on the top. So the big steel thing blocked the view from the thing. Yeah.
But we had a good vantage point of the ring, though, so I really...
No, the ring was awesome. Yeah, the ring was awesome. We had great seats, honestly.
Honestly, I really, I looked up at it a couple of times when they got, on the other side of the ring, or, they got on the ground. But for the most part, I was just watching the ring directly.
Yeah, 100% of the show for me was watching the ring. I did, because the steel thing was blocking the big screen for me. Occasionally, we would look at the big screen, the entrance video wall. The Titantron, but mainly it was the ring. So, this is all stuff that's well known to people who go to shows, but I'm just describing F&M Bank for everybody. Just under 4,000 people were here. The numbers came in 3,970 for this overall. So before the show started, we already kind of got a good view of what this show was going to be like. Because at points we were all getting into our seats, and right before the show started, they brought out Alicia Taylor, the ring announcer and stuff, and they gave her a respectful applause. And then on the video screen, they played a video for Trick, and the whole crowd, before the show even started, before this even went on the air, the whole crowd was chanting, "Whoop that Trick," at that point. It told you, this was a Trick crowd. People wanted to see him win the belt at the end. But so the show, then they had brought out Wade to replace Booker T, which I know you were disappointed Booker T wasn't here.
Okay. I was sad that Booker T was not there because, everyone loves Booker T. I love Booker T. But I also love Wade Barrett.
That's true. That's going back to the old days.
Yes. When I was watching wrestling, he was wrestling, and I liked Wade Barrett, and I still like Wade Barrett. And even though I couldn't hear a single thing he said, I got to see him, and that made me happy.
Yeah, he came out with the white suit on there. Yeah, he's a great commentator too. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's the best one WWE has. Booker T is entertaining and crazy, but Wade is a great commentator in my opinion. So very good stuff there. I'm sure the show was really commentated well, pretty much.
Does he commentate on another show for WWE?
Yeah, he's SmackDown's commentator now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's him and Corey Graves on there. But yeah, Wade's good as a commentator. So shout out to Wade. Seemed fired up. Everybody was there. They announced there was, and I'll mention it here too, there was a big donation drive because Clarksville was hit by the tornadoes, in December. That did a lot of damage, and then you especially were really close by to one of the tornadoes, there, you were close by, and thank God that everything turned out okay there. But a lot of damage happened in Clarksville, so it was really cool that NXT did and took the donations for that, and shouted out. Even on the TV version, I saw where they put that up, the number to call and everything to donate stuff. So they put over Clarksville big here on NXT.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool of them to do. It was Clarksville did get hit really hard. Like there was a lot of damage. It was really bad. And like you can't necessarily see it from like the main roads. But once you start going back there in the neighborhoods of the area that got hit, like it was just nothing. Like just
Like,
nothing.
yeah, I was really worried that day. We were texting and stuff, and trying to. I just wanted to make sure you were okay there. So
Yeah,
I think.
it touched down like a mile from where I was at when it came. And here's the thing, we didn't even know that there was a tornado warning.
Yeah.
Like, our aunt called, I think like a couple of minutes before like we saw it outside, like literally. And then it was there. Like a couple of minutes after she called, it was here. And it was crazy. It was crazy. We got
But
really,
yeah, absolutely. But I'm happy that they took donations for that as well. I'd put that over a lot. But so Wade came out. We're ready for the show. They played the video. They played the song. They played like a ton of times on the show, the Dark Side song, which it was pretty good for like a pay-per-view theme song. Like we heard it a lot during the show. They played it after every match pretty much. But it was all right.
the horizon, right?
Yeah. So that was the official Vengeance Day theme song. Lots of red. Cheyenne didn't mind it with the atmosphere and the aesthetics. I could have done without it, to be honest with you. But like I said, it made me feel like we were in the Nether Realm. And if you look at our pictures we took, a lot of them were like very red, to say there. But show started off with the finals of the Dusty Cup here, the Dusty Rhodes Classic. It was Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. And like you said, you were a fan through and through of Baron Corbin. I have to say one thing, and I'll get it out of the way now because it lasted the whole show. There was this really annoying fan who
Oh my gosh.
and I know you know who I'm talking about.
I hated her. I mean, I didn't hate her, but like I hated her. Oh, I was gonna mention that. I'm glad you mentioned it because it was just ridiculous.
She annoyed everybody. Like, it wasn't just you, Cheyenne. And at first, during the match, everybody was against Corbin anyway. There was like a few, like less than a handful of people who got real heel heat on this show, like boos and stuff. Like there was really most people were here to chant and have catchphrases and all that stuff and have fun. There was a couple of people that got booed. He was one of them. Like a lot of the crowd was against Corbin.
I don't know why, because Corbin is great, but a lot of people did not seem to like him for some reason.
And somebody behind us, some country guy, was saying like,
No, it wasn't a guy. That was a woman.
No. I'm talking about during the match. I'll get to her in a second. There was a part in the match right before Braun threw Baron Corbin over the top rope as an attack. Like he threw Corbin into Trick and Mello. But the guy behind us says, "Go ahead, attack Corbin now." And then, like literally a minute later, Braun did it. And I turned around and said, "Hey, he heard you there," and he got a big pop from everybody. So there was this girl who just, again, during the match, a lot of people were chanting "F you, Corbin," but she did it during every single match on the show. Like,
I know, and she did it. She literally like she did it on and off throughout
through every match on the show, like the entire show. Like you said, it wasn't like it was constant, but every match at some point she would start chanting this.
And like, I'm like, okay, look, everyone has the right to dislike who they dislike. Like, okay, fine. And during the Corbin match, okay, fine. But like, it didn't matter. It didn't matter. Dijak versus Gacy.
Yeah.
The women's match. The tag team, like the whole show, she would chant it. And it was just so annoying. And she would not stop. And she was so loud. And I just thought that it was really rude. You know what I mean? Like just.
Totally.
Like not, and of course, you know what? Like this is the first show in Clarksville.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to be like supportive and show, happy that they came to town. But like I said, everyone has their own opinions. But I thought it was also really rude to like all the other people that are watch the show.
and annoying, most of all. And I was just like, shut up. Like, what I wanted to say.
We're all sharing a space. You know what I mean? Like, even if, like, clearly you don't respect Corbin, but at least respect the people around you who are trying to enjoy the show, who are having to listen to you chant this repeatedly 2.5, 3 hours.
And somebody said, again, it wasn't me, it was somebody around us, at one time during the show. Somebody said, because for a while they were laughing at it, like, oh, this is random, she's still going Corbin, it's funny. After the 17th time straight, I think that's when some people probably got a little irritated. And I heard somebody say, in the same vein as F.U. Corbin, they were like, kick this out. And I heard him say it, and we all laughed at it secretly. But he said it low enough that I don't think she heard it. Unfortunately, she definitely didn't stop.
I heard someone say, shut up, lady. And
Yes.
there was this group of guys, like, below us and towards to the left, and they were like, just stop being funny, like, two matches
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I think I heard them say that, too.
Stop being funny 2 years ago.
And even 2 years ago, man, this guy's going way back, whoever that was.
But I just, like, I couldn't, like, I got so irritated. Like, I almost wanted to say something, but I didn't. But, like,
You're like not confrontational at all. For me, because I've stepped into stuff before and done stuff. I mean, but only when there's like a danger. Like this wasn't dangerous. She was just very annoying. But for you, you're not a confrontational person. You were saying you wanted to say something.
well, I mean, I just thought it's not worth it.
Yeah.
She sounded like she would be,
Oh
just
God.
who would blow up and make a big deal out. You know what I mean?
Oh,
But I just thought, I just, like, every time I heard her open her mouth,
She's like the ultimate Karen, pretty much.
I was like, oh my God, please stop. Like, I'm trying to watch Oba and Dragon League right now. You know what I mean? And then, I don't know, did you hear what she said during the Oba and Dragon League match?
She said something like, I don't know his name or something like that.
No. No, that's not what
What'd
she
say?
well, I can't say it. I'm not
You don't want to say these words. You can say anything. There's no rules on this show if you want to say it.
I'm not going to say what she said, but, like when, I think it was when he, whatchamacallit, wait, give me a second. It's going to come to me. The octopus hole.
Oh yeah, the octopus stretch, yeah.
Yeah. The octopus stretch when, Dragon Lee had Ova and the octopus stretch, she started chanting something that was like vulgar and I didn't like
Oh yeah. That's right. Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah, I thought, are you seriously? Like, I almost thought, can we go back to F.U. Corbin?
Yes. She was chanting that she wanted someone to punch somebody else in the nether regions.
I thought she said twist.
Oh, you're right. That's right. Yeah, twist his dick. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that was where she started chanting. And I'm like, please shut up. Just please.
The ultimate Karen. She was the true villain on this show more than any wrestler, I would say.
No.
Oh, well, that's true. You're right. We're going to get to that for you, especially. There was a part here where somebody, this is a rumor here, and we're going to see what you think of this since you were here. So after the show, there's rumors online that they planted stuff in the show, like WWE put signs in the crowd and all of that stuff. And there was a group here. This is what makes me think these guys were the plants, if there was. Because a couple of times during the show, there'd be a chant of, we want Cody, and it never picked up whatsoever. Like, every time they tried to chant it, they would chant it for like a few times, but nobody would jump in on it.
I don't believe that.
You don't think that there were plants?
No.
And we did get somebody that called, or not somebody, but there were multiple people in the front row that chanted before the show a-hole section after they did the We Want Cody chants.
Well, I just figured it was,
some kind of in-joke.
Some kind of a-hole who thought it would be to call himself the a-hole section. Because what it was they were up front by the ring. They had ring sides.
Yeah.
So I assumed that someone brought the sign and called them the a-hole section because they were by the ring. That's what, to me, common sense led me to believe.
Yeah.
And then everyone else just jumped on it because, I mean, what are you going to do? You have ringside seats. So.
Yeah. But they did try the Cody chance, but it didn't work. I will say something that definitely wasn't, because I went back and actually watched a little bit of the show on Peacock to see how it came across.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that wasn't fake was they booed The Rock and Ava. Like, whenever they showed The Rock on the screen, he got boos.
Oh, yeah, everyone booed him.
Yeah, and Ava as well, his daughter. So that was real.
I don't know why they're booing her. I mean, you said it like,
nice.
Huh?
It's not nice. It's not. You can't blame her for his stuff.
Right. Well, right. And I don't like, it's like you said, it's not, and it's about The Rock, right? It's about the timing of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Cody. Yeah.
Right, because, I mean, everybody's wanted to see The Rock fight Roman, right? Like, everyone's wanted to see that. Everyone said, man, I wish I could see that match. But, like, not at the expense of Cody, who won the Royal Rumble, who earned his title match at WrestleMania. Like, that's some bullcrap. That's like that's some bullcrap.
Many people would agree with you on that, Cheyenne. But all I'm saying is that that I'm telling the truth, though, that they tried to start the We Want Cody chants, and it never picked up.
Well, yeah, but I don't think they were plants, though.
That's just a conspiracy theory. I can't prove it's true, but if it was true, it wouldn't surprise me if they did put a few people in to try to rile up some fan interest and stuff. But but they might not be either. They might have just been idiots as well, because like, we're at an NXT show. You would think that probably wouldn't fly. Like, if it was on SmackDown, it's one thing, but we don't know. But for the most part, though, everybody was cool. Outside of that one lady, like it said, the Karen of the show. The fans were pretty much all cool to me. So the match got started, the tag team match. What do you think of the match? What do you remember of it? Again, this is a little different show. It's not going to be as in-depth for the ring stuff as usual. We're just talking about our experience, really, guys, there. But what do you think of the match, Cheyenne?
I liked it, first off, because I liked both tag teams at that time. At the time, let's go. And, which I knew Corbin from before. I've always liked Corbin, and I like Braun Breaker. So really, I was kind of like happy. I was going to be happy with whoever won. You know what I mean? But I was very happy that Corbin and Braun won. I was happy. They had, for a team that wasn't really a tag team, I thought they did pretty well together. Although when they came out, the entrance, they came out on the motorcycles, right?
Yeah.
Baron Corbin had a cape on with like a hood, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you could see it a lot better on the TV version, because I was wondering, I was like, what's up with the cape? And this looked like something like, if you guys out there are familiar with Dragon Age, this is basically what Morrigan wore, like this hood cape thing, and he came out with it.
I wouldn't even say that. It was like a plain, thin black cape with a hood, like it tied with the string or whatever.
But it had the exact same color, though. It was like that, like, dark purplish, blackish, reddish color.
I just saw black.
It was it was weird. But you didn't like it.
I just saw black. Well, no, I didn't like it. I just didn't understand the point of it. I thought he would have looked better if he just came out on the motorcycle sans cape. Like, I didn't understand what the cape was there for. Like, he has the motorcycle look. The cape did not match it. No,
and the thing they played on the screen looked like some Darth Vader looking thing on his video entrance, so I don't know what he was going for exactly with this, but it was all right. I mean, the double motorcycle entrance was something, at least. I don't like the booking of it, though, to put this first, because then, like, later on, Out the Mud came out on a bicycle. And I mean, like, that's a downgrade. Like, the bicycles should come first and then the motorcycle.
Was it a bicycle? I thought there was more motorcycles.
No, they were on bicycles. Like, literally riding the bicycles out.
Well, I mean, that was their choice.
I'm okay with that, but I just wish that it had happened earlier. So, because like, once you've already done the motorcycles, it's like you're going backwards a little bit with the bicycles.
Yeah, but Trick had another match, so obviously it makes sense to put his his match first, so he has a recovery period between his last match.
Well, let's just leave the bicycles at home then, Out the Mud, on that one. I'll have more to say about Out the Mud later. But you like the match, you like the teams. There was some sloppiness in this match, I noted.
Are you talking about when Braun had that thing with the ropes?
Yeah. And that was, I mean, that would look like, I'll give it up to him, man. He blasted through it. Like, he botched the rope run and got his head caught between the ropes and above it. But as soon as he, like, bounced off, there was, like, a slight pause for it. And everybody, like, Carmella was like, oh crap. But Braun just powered through it, ran back to the other end, and then hit the clothesline afterwards. He didn't let it stop him too much, but it was definitely noticeable.
No.
And
didn't he get on the top ropes too?
Yeah, he did. He did the big dive at the end. The crowd was doing a lot of the barks for him too, even though he was teaming with Corbin. Like, they hated on Corbin, but they gave Braun the barking.
I know I thought it was funny because you would hear people booing Corbin and then also doing the barking for Braun.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny because it's like nobody knew like what to do because they had this one guy who they really liked and one guy who they hated, which I did not have that problem. But I thought it was hilarious watching people struggle who they should support.
I didn't like the entrance for Trick and Carmelo, only because when they hit Trick's music, that was the smartest thing to do, was hit his music to start the show off, because like I said, they were already chanting his name before the show. But they would do the Whoop That Trick for his entrance, but then they would like flip the music to Carmelo's music, which is a good song. Like, it's a good entrance song, don't get me wrong. It's just the way they did it, it doesn't fit. Like, because people would be chanting Whoop That Trick, but then obviously Carmelo's music would just flip in, and then they would go for that. If it were me, I think I would have just gone straight for Carmelo's theme here and saved the big Whoop That Trick for his like the solo entrance. That way it saves it instead of kind of splitting it back and forth. But or at least do a better job flipping the music around, like make it fit better, because their songs don't really go together. They just had to go back and forth as a mix.
When they decided to switch off to Carmella's music, it was like an odd.
Yeah, and then everybody immediately stopped, right there too.
Yeah.
Or like how they did it with Corbin and Breakers, where they came out, Corbin had his song first, and then Breaker had his, and they just went from there.
I mean, honestly, I'd say they should have done Carmella's music first, and then just ended with
Tricks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fine idea too.
Because I mean, then like you said, there wouldn't have to be no like odd, awkward cut off moment. Like, they could just ride it out to the end when the music cut off.
Yeah, but the match was all right. There was some sloppiness, like I said, just watching with my analytical eye. So me and you might differ on some matches. But it's got some good ratings on Cage Rush as well. It's got 7 out of 10 overall, so that's all right, I guess. I like Carmelo and Trick. I thought they were a good team a lot. And you noticed, too, even from the crowd, listen, Cheyenne tried to downplay it earlier, but she's got a watchful eye. She picked up on when Trick had the leg injury at the start, when he kipped up and twisted his knee a little bit there.
I did. And
I had a feeling that was going to come into play in the main event as well, which it did. So we will talk about that as well. Match was okay. For the star ratings experts out there, I'd probably say about 2 3/4 on there, maybe 3. Oh, well.
Quarters.
Ooh, you think I'm too hard? What would you give it then?
What is this, like, out of 5, out of 10?
It's not out of 10. It's out of 5. Like 3 stars.
What? No, you said 2 3/4.
That's almost 3.
No.
Fine, I'll bump it up to 3 for your sake, child.
No, at minimum, I would say it's like a 3.5. At minimum.
Okay. I said this is why don't try and bully me on my own show right now.
What I want. I'm a guest.
Like I said, you got your opinions. That's what it's all about, man.
At a minimum, out of a 5, I would say a 3.5.
And they did get the cup, which the cup was cool.
And of course I like Corbin and Braun. So, like, I really kind of want to say 4, but, Like, realistically, I would say it's probably, like, skill-wise and all that stuff. Like, maybe a 3.5 out of 5.
While it's true that we don't have the same last name, I didn't know your real name was Cheyenne Meltzer with some of these star rating inflations that you have now. You want to give everyone 5 stars on this show.
And I did not even say 5 stars. That didn't even come out of my mouth.
You are the Meltzer of the show now, Cheyenne.
I don't even know who that is. I said that I would want to give it a 4 because I really like Braun, and I really like Corbin, and I really like Trick. And, that other guy was there. But
we'll get to him.
I would say it's at least a 3.5. Don't lowball it just because you don't like Corbin.
It has nothing to do with Corbin. I just thought the match was a little sloppy. That's all.
Nothing to do with Corbin.
Listen, Cheyenne, you're in agreement with the cage match inmates. Now they have it 7.12. That's like a 3.5, basically. A little higher than 3.5, actually.
Well, majority wins.
Sorry, I'm on an island for this one. The next match was... Oh, we have to mention, too. I think it's important to talk about. So, but, they would take some time after the match stuff. This is when we started talking about the, like when they were flipping the ring out and stuff, and you're shocked of that happening. They would play videos on stuff afterwards, which I think all the stuff they played also got shown on the Peacock version too. So I'm not telling you all anything you don't know here, pretty much. I didn't like how they did the Roxanne Perez hype video like 3 matches before the actual women's title match here. Because they went over Roxanne. She's challenging for the belt. She never lost. And she's not the same girl she used to be. And we did this whole video for the women's title match. And then the next thing you see, Dijak come out. It's like, why couldn't we play the Dijak video? Like for this, or the feud here. We didn't see this, Cheyenne, but before the match, on the Peacock version, they showed a video I saw where Dijak threw Joe Gacy off of, like, a roof before this, or, like, a huge trailer into a dumpster.
Was that on, like, one of the episodes?
Yeah. It was, like, on the last NXT episode before the show.
Okay, then.
So that led to
I don't know who any of these people were.
Yeah, this is your first time seeing Dijak and Joe. I noticed Gacy had a new video screen because before this, he had like a cult faction, pretty much, and everybody wore the smiley face mask. But they're all gone now. Like everybody in the faction has either been fired or Ava's the GM now. So on the screen, on his new video screen, they show the smiley face mask step up one after the other. But it's all him. Like the mask come off and it's like 4 of him or 5 of him on the screen. I thought it was like, okay, this is kind of a cool entrance for this guy. And I heard somebody behind us was like, Gacy, he's sick, man. He's crazy on here. But yeah, so that set up this match, the no DQ match. And I noticed this here too. So they started off with like 2 batons to fight each other, like a police baton and a nightstick type of deal. And at one point, Gacy pulled the table out and poured what we thought were Legos on there, or what I thought was Legos. We couldn't see what it actually was. On the Peacock version, we saw that it was actually like Hot Wheels and toy soldiers that he put on the table. We couldn't see it from the crowd.
Okay. Well, I mean, it was like, it looked like it was like a lot of colors. Like
they were all different colored, like Hot Wheel colored little cars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It looked painful to go through, man.
Those things hurt when you step on them.
I think the match, the crowd here wasn't really with this match, to be honest with you, as much as the opener and all the trick stuff. But they did some stuff to try and win the crowd over. I think the part that got the biggest pop was when Gacy had the trash can on his head and launched himself at Dijak as a weapon. That got a good crowd reaction there.
Well, and before that, he was in the Dijak kept on hitting him because he was in the trash can, and then he kept sitting up.
Yeah.
Remember that? He kept on
Yeah.
sitting. And remember, at one point, Gacy also put
the tape over his eyes, the blindfold.
Yeah, that was. Well, I wasn't gonna say. I'm not gonna say that's funny because.
Well, it was a comment because so he hit the feast your eyes while he was blindfolded, and then he couldn't make the pin. He was like looking around like, where did he go? Where did he go? And everybody laughed at that. And the crowd chanted. They said, "You can't see him."
Yep. And then Gacy got in the corner and like upside down.
Yeah, that took forever. Like that spot. Like
he was trying to get the Dijak was trying to get the tape off of his head.
Yeah, and that's kind of impressive though, because he stayed on the top of his head for a long time. The blood had to rush to his head and all that stuff.
I know, and he was smiling. It reminded me of Bray Wyatt.
Well, and that's kind of his character. He's like this cult, dark guy, pretty much, like kind of crazy dude. Like just like the fans were saying, he's like this sick, twisted guy, pretty much. But it was like they hit hard. They did the spots with the table and all that stuff. There was parts of it that dragged, in my opinion. Like just like I said, that part, but also the crowd wasn't really into it. They had to work hard to get them into it, but I think they successfully did it. This to me was a pretty good match. I go about 3 with this one out of 5, like 3 stars.
I would agree with the 3 out of 5.
I like this a little better than the opener, actually. I thought they did the things they wanted, but it was about the same. Like they were both kind of the same level to me. Like they got overshadowed later on.
Well, I mean, like considering the lineup, I don't think they were really at like the top of the list.
No, that's why the crowd wasn't feeling them that much compared to some others. But on Cage Match, this actually has a little higher rating than the opener.
Yeah.
7.67.
I do like, which I will agree that probably like the match between Dijak and Gacy was probably better than the first match.
But that had more heat to it. Like, the crowd was way more into the first one than that.
Yeah. But like for a no DQ match, like I said, given the lineup, they did a good job. If they weren't like, if it wasn't so stacked, you know what I mean? Like I would have given them a higher rating because they did put on a good match.
Yeah, I thought they did good.
In my humble, unknowledgeable opinion.
Well, like I said, I give it a good pass. Like they did some cool stuff there, and the crowd got into it. So then this is another thing. This is a show long thread that we had. Multiple times we would go backstage to Chase U, and so the women of Chase U have somehow put this calendar together to sell. So the storyline with Chase is they're in debt, like the college is in debt. And they're selling these calendars to get this university out of debt. It's really dumb. I hate Chase U. I'm glad they weren't on this show outside of the backstage stuff. But I was thinking, man, I was like, this is taking forever. Like, we're doing these segments over and over. Like, get to the point. I was not impressed with Chase U at all, I have to say.
I mean, yeah, I didn't really see what it had to do with anything.
Yeah.
Other than it was just filler, in between the matches.
That's it. That's really what it was. And they've done this storyline forever. It's been like 3 months here of this. So then they give this long video on Out the Mud and the family, which of all the matches had to be the least stakes match. Like, it's like a mixed tag 6-person match. No titles on the line. Not even that much of a grudge. It's just, hey, like, you don't run the streets, we run the streets. It was a basic feud, but they told, like, it was like a 3-minute video package. Like, this was longer than the main events was, I think, on here.
Yeah, it was the whole storyline.
I laughed when Out the Mud came out, and they have, like, the GTA entrance, right? Like, the video screen. It's based heavily on Grand Theft Auto and how they do that. And they show, like, everybody on the side, like, Jada Parker and Scripps also known as Reggie, are like trying to look like gangsters, pretty much. Like they try to look hard on the one side, and then they showed like the other two, and then they show like Lucy and Price on the other side. He's like super smiling and happy, a super wholesome guy. Like, and all the other ones are trying to act like GTA, and you just see his side of the video, and he's like a very wholesome guy. One of the Out the Mud guys, Lucian Price, there. So I got to give it up to him there. The family came out during the video. The girl, Adriana Lizzo, was like, she was like, my mama taught me. She was like, my mama always taught me, fool me once, I break your face. There. So this very over the top mafia group took on Out the Mud with Scripps of all people here. The crowd started chanting at Scripps and were taunting him. They were like, they were calling him Reggie, which was his old gimmick, which you turned to me and we're talking about how he used to be Carmella's valet.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You recognize Reggie here, so you have the inside scoop here.
I did recognize Reggie. I was like, isn't that the guy? Like, why are they calling him this new name?
So, but there's one thing that we saw when we did watch the NXT shows to build up to this show. Cheyenne is not an Out the Mud fan.
Well, no, here's the thing. I think they have the theme, they have the charisma. You know what I mean? Like, they have the power. Like, you can tell they're strong. They just need to work on their skill. Like, I didn't really see them do much other than, like, basic things.
I think they definitely got the size.
That's coming from me, the casual fan. And I'm like, you gotta do something other than just, like, throwing people into the ropes and throwing punches. And here's the thing, like with the family, like clearly the family is like a comedic group, you know what I mean? Like,
they're the tag champions.
Well, I'm just saying, it's for comedic relief.
Right.
Like, it's not like a serious gimmick, you know what I mean?
Are you telling me that voice is not her real voice that she uses with this New York accent?
Much. But the family actually has like some skill. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
yeah, they're all right.
Their whole thing's kind of a joke, but they really have skill. And then you have Out the Mud, and their whole thing is like serious, but they just don't have the skill yet. I mean, I think if they practice and they work harder and they get better, like, there'll be like a serious competition. But right now, they just don't have it. Like, they have everything to make like a great stable, right? Except for the skill to back it up. They need to work on that. So,
to me, Out the Mud is in the mud right now.
Well, I mean, you told me that they had like just got on NXT, right?
Yeah, they haven't even been in the system for like a year fully. Like, these are super new guys.
Wait, what do you mean in the system for a year?
Like in the NXT, like training and all that stuff.
But they just got on NXT.
Well, they've been around like for like a year, pretty much.
On NXT.
Yes.
So like they got out of development, right? Developmental, and then they've been on NXT for a year.
Yeah, the Performance Center. They usually call it development, which is a PC. Yeah, so their first match. So, okay. Bronco Nima and Lucian Price. Their first match at NXT was October 2022. But that was a live show. So, okay, that's not even on TV. What was their first TV match here we have for NXT TV? Okay, yeah, they had a match July 2023 was their first TV match there. Against Axiom and Scripps. So they were like new guys, like not even 6 months ago. Okay, yeah, it's like less than a year. So not even 6 months ago.
Okay, I was about to say, if they've been doing this for a year already, my hopes dwindled significantly.
Well, they're new. Like, fact of the matter is they're still new. at the end of the day. They're like a football background guys, you know.
Well, like I said, they have size, they have the strength.
Yeah, so they came from football.
Right, they have the charisma, you know what I mean? Like they just need to work on their skill. They need moves, you know what I mean? They need some grapples or some they need something. They need something.
They need real graps, is what you're saying.
Right, they need like a signature move or they just need some more skill instead of just like trying to throw people in the ring and body slam them and like you got to do something.
I still say I didn't like how Out the Mud came out with the bicycles after the motorcycles came out earlier, and on top of it, the Tony D used Channing Lorenzo the same way Braun Breaker threw Baron Corbin over the rope. They did the exact same move as well in 2 different matches. So there was a lot to criticize about this match, you could say. And you could see it, even the inmates, like Cage Match, they gave this some low ratings. The women, Rizzo might be the newest one, like the girl in the family, so to speak here. So they're still very new as well. Everybody's so new here that it's hard for me to think too much of anybody. Even the family are only like a couple of years into it. At the end of the day, they're not way into it, but they were better than Out the Mud for sure.
I thought women were pretty good in the match.
Rizzo did do the dive from the top rope on the outside, which was hilarious. Like this probably 130-pound girl like took out 3 people with a dive, and one of them is like 300 pounds. Was very funny to me. But I do like the Rizzo name, as any Cubs fans will know. Anthony Rizzo is a legend. So if we're doing Rizzo in these groups, I'm automatically predisposed to like her. But the match was not good. I thought this was the low light. I heard somebody say, even a hater, it was one of the guys, he said, this match is making me wish they'd bring Corbin back out.
Oh, whatever.
I'd give this about a 1 star.
What, a 1?
I said what I said.
Why?
This wasn't a good match, man.
It was a decent match.
Okay, well, what would you give it then?
I will meet your 1. Okay, let's see. I gave Dijak and Gacy a 3, right?
Oh, that was way better than this match.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Just hold up a minute. I'll give it a 2.75.
Okay, 2 3/4. That's not that far off from 3. But okay, fine. Like I said, on this, I don't know. I wasn't impressed with this match, to say the least. Like I said, Out the Mud has a long way to go, and the family are so goofy that I don't know what to think of them. But they are
goofy, but they also they're decent wrestlers. They're just goofy.
Okay. And they are alright. It feels like this would have been better if it was just a tag title match. Like, I think that should have been a thing too. Just put the titles on the line and have a tag match. You didn't need the women involved.
Well, I mean, but we already had 2 title matches. I'm
3.
3. I was 3.
Okay, I mean,
they can't all be title matches.
I guess so. I mean, the first 2 matches weren't title matches. I mean, well, one was the tournament final, I guess. But yeah, okay, we'll just have to disagree on this one as well. I didn't think it was a great match, is all I'm saying.
I don't think it was a great match, but it was a decent match.
What if I bumped it up to 1.5?
I mean, I think it's at least a 2.
What if I went 1 3/4?
You're not going to go to 2. Okay, fine. I will take your 1.75.
Okay. So after this, we did see another video, this time with Kiana James and Izzy Dame. They're just talking about, like, hey, we're going for the women's title. Guess we got to go after Kalani Jordan. No.
Oh, don't forget, they kept on showing, crap, what is her name? Hold on.
You remember it.
Gigi
Oh yeah,
Dolan?
Gigi Dolan got like a ton of videos here. I don't know why. So Cheyenne is a fan of Gigi based on her her show before she started wrestling.
Okay, first off, I don't know if I'm a fan of her because I haven't really seen her wrestle, but I did watch the show. I
The
did watch.
gypsy stuff.
Yes. My big fat American Gypsy wedding. I did watch that show. I watched it a lot. There was my big fat American Gypsy wedding, and then there was my big fat Gypsy wedding, which was in the UK, and it had gypsies and the Irish Travelers. So it was 2 shows.
Okay. You're giving us big lore here for this gypsy family of shows.
Yes.
And so you know her and liked her from the show, at least, even if you haven't seen her wrestle that much.
Yes.
She was on one of the shows we watched. Like, she wrestled on that show.
Yeah, she's okay.
Yeah, but you're right. We should mention that too. That Gigi got a ton of videos on here. I don't know what for, because she wasn't on the show at all. But
I feel like from what I've seen from Gigi, like she has like good moments, like sports.
Yeah.
She's just not consistent, right?
She's got really bright hair.
Wow, you don't like her at all, do you?
She did. She actually did better than I remember her being on the match we saw. Actually, to be honest with you, I was like, okay, she's at least improving a bit here. So then we cut backstage again. This time it's Trick and Mello. And Trick's like a big point we have to mention too in the first match. The ending of the match was Braun about to spear Trick, but Mello pushed him out of the way, and so Mello took the spear and saved Trick pretty much. And Trick was like, man, why'd you take that bullet for me? And Mello was like, man, we need you 100% for the main event. You got to get these titles. We let it slip through our fingers for the tag tournament, but that's okay. You got to go do what you got to do now, man. And Trick was like, well, and then Mello was like, well, I know you got to do it on your own. It's fine. But Trick was like, nah, not this time. I need my brother with me this time. And Mello was like, for real? And they were like, yeah, Trick Mello gang and all this stuff. So the big storyline was how Trick wanted to go his own way and not be Mello's sidekick. But now, the first time in Clarksville, Tennessee, for Vengeance Day, Trick wanted Mello at ringside for the first time. We'll talk more about that after the main event.
I guess so.
So then we get a video for Lyra, where basically they're like, yeah, it's true you never lost the title, but I still need to beat you to prove I'm the real champ, even though I beat Becky Lynch before. So early on, they have a match here where they're trying to wrestle, like technical stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then I heard somebody from the back, again, I think it was one of the guys behind us, somebody yelled out, this ain't New Japan on here.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, so he didn't want to see any of this, like, good wrestling stuff. He's like, this ain't New Japan. And I was like, what the? When he said that?
I think it was the guy who was with that lady.
It might have been. Yeah.
I mean, they were, like, cause I remember because they both had really strong country accents.
The worst couple ever.
And because I remember being surprised that he knew what New Japan was.
Yeah, this ain't New Japan here. So he said that. So he was not amused by this technical wrestling that they showed here. But then Lola Vice ran out with her contract that she had. So I'm so sick of these Money in the Bank gimmicks. Like, every show has a different one, it seems like, and none of them are any good. So I was not amused by this at all. But
I disagree.
But everybody disagreed because the crowd went crazy when this happened.
Because I think the contracts for the title match, the Money in the Bank, it's classic. It's fun. And it's, you know what I mean? It's up to the wrestler. They can cash in whenever they want. They can be as dirty as they want. It's fun. It's entertaining. I like it. Here's the thing. I know why you don't like this because when Lola ran in and cashed in her contract, she screwed over Roxy.
So yeah, the way that went was Roxanne had the pop rocks. It was about to pin, and that's when Lola ran out. But I mean, the crowd, the energy went way up when Lola came out.
It really did. Like the whole crowd went wild.
Yeah, Cheyenne tried to be act like I was the first one that stood up in the whole arena when Roxy came out, but don't listen to her on that end. I'm telling the real facts right now. But
you made me forget.
Huh?
I was gonna say something. You made me forget because you went on your tangent about Roxy.
I'm sorry. But Lola came out, which was kind of dumb though. They also executed it stupidly. So why did she have an there was already a referee in the ring? Why did she need an extra referee?
I mean, isn't there always an extra referee standing around?
Well, she drug him out from backstage. They ran down the ramp with her.
Well, because she wanted to make sure that she could cash it in right away. I don't know. He was in the wrong side at the wrong time.
And Tatum Paxley, they've done a storyline with Lyra where on NXT where Tatum is like a stalker, pretty much, of Lyra. She was.
Is that other chick who was in the match?
Yeah. She's she wishes she was Lyra. She's in love with Lyra. Whatever the purpose of this all is, we don't know exactly.
I thought she was with Lola because they didn't say her name. They didn't mention her. I didn't know who she was.
No, she wasn't with Lola at all. So she tried to stop Lola from cashing in. She grabbed the contract. Lola pulled it back and then hit a freaking sweet reverse crescent kick to her, which was awesome. And knocked her out for a little while. She would return later in the match. But yeah, she was trying to protect Lyra from this. So she comes in. The crowd's really hot now. This is the hottest they've been for a match the whole show, pretty much. I thought Lola Vice was awesome, honestly. When she came in, she was doing these kicks and stuff. She's a former Bellator fighter, MMA person. So she was doing all these kicks and stuff. She did the hip shake into the hip attack into the ropes, which got a big pop too. She was doing these wild back and forth 1-2 step kicks to both people in the corner. They got a big reaction. She was doing technical wrestling with the submissions and all that stuff. Roxy stayed into it though. She came out with pop rocks on Lyra and was about to win again for the second time, but then Paxley dove into the ring and attacked Roxanne to break up the pinfall illegally, I might add, there. So she came in. Lyra got to be saved. She hit the Samoan driver on Lola Vice, which they called in the commentary the Night Wish, which is a pretty cool name for the move. A nice band as well, so it's a reference. So Lyra retained the title over Lola. What did you think of this match?
I thought it was great. I mean, look, it was a great match. If it was, honestly, I mean, obviously it's it'd be the second best match of the night.
Definitely for crowd reaction. Roxanne got one of the biggest pops of the show, besides Trick. The whole crowd was behind her during this match.
It was, I mean, honestly, even because obviously Ilya and Trick got the biggest crowd reactions.
Yeah.
But I would say honestly that the match performance would be as good or maybe even better than the last match. Hot take.
This reminded me of when we were watching with Mama. You busted out the ultimate hot take when you said you didn't like Seth Rollins. And Mama was not happy with you saying that at all.
You say this like y'all weren't hating on him when he was the Messiah.
Okay, well let's take it back for a second, because I am on your side. As a wrestler, he could do some cool stuff, but as a character, I don't like him at all. The laugh and the coats and all that stuff.
No, hold up a minute. Then how come when we were watching it with Mama, you took her side?
I didn't take her side. I said he does some good stuff wrestling, but I'm not always in with the laugh and with the Messiah stuff sucked. That's literally what I said. And she was like, oh, well, that's just his thing.
No, like, we've always been down with Seth. I'm like, what?
I didn't say that. I did not say that at all. I'm being completely misrepresented right here. I did not like Seth at all, like, in terms of character. Like, the wrestling, yes, he's athletic and can do cool stuff, but as a character, I've never liked him.
Yeah, I'm not a Seth fan. I'm sorry.
You rattled off all of his nicknames, though, like, there. Because you left me in with Memon, but actually Memon was saying, like, she was shocked when you said that. And all I said about that was like, oh, that's a hot take here, because I know Memon's a big fan of Seth at the end of the day. But I did not defend Seth at all. I was saying that I hated his character a lot. And even as a wrestler, like, there's others I like a lot better than him, to be honest with you. Even on WWE.
But I mean, you know what? Like, honestly, like, it's all that perspective, really. Because like, she didn't like him when he was the Messiah, but like.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, she forgot about that part.
Yeah, but she likes him now. But it's like a lot of people, and like, because I said this about Roman, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's still the same guy who you were cheering for a couple of years ago when you wanted him to get the title. It's just now he's like a heel. It's just perspective, but he's still the same guy, still the same wrestler. So
yeah, his matches are worse as a heel, unfortunately, than they were before.
That's because he always has the bloodline with him. But I mean, that's annoying. Like, and like, I definitely think that he should have lost some of the matches that he fought in. But I still like him.
Okay, so you're still down with Roman too.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not saying he deserves to win. There's definitely been some times where he should have lost for sure, but like, I still like him. It's the same person. There's different perspective, different character, different storyline.
But yeah, on this show though, the crowd really rode. Even in this beginning, when they had the title match announcement, they actually booed Lyra a little bit.
No, everyone, Roxanne Perez was definitely the fan favorite at the school. Like, the crowd definitely, like, pumped her up. They were really excited to see her. And like I said, it was a really good match. Like, honestly, like you said, the last match had a lot more hype. Like, a lot more people were a lot more pumped up for it. But performance-wise, I would say the women's title match was as good. At least as good, if not better.
I just don't know how to grade it because it feels like two different matches almost, Like a cage match, it's listed as just a triple threat, but the first half of the match and most of the match was the singles stuff on there. And it was like two different ones almost too, because like when Lola came out, the energy changed. Like the crowd reacted big to that.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna grade. I'm gonna say it is a 4.75.
Oh, match of the year level here. Like we have to compare notes on the main event after this. See what comes out ahead here. But you said it. You said that this was like as good as the main event, maybe even a little better.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that the booking was. I don't like the Money in the Bank stuff, like the cash in stuff. But being here live, there's no denying that it's successful. Like,
It's funny too, because right before she came out, I think it was before that match, and I think like it was during, the period between the matches or whatever after the tag team match.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I thought to myself, I wonder if they're going to have someone show up unexpectedly. And then she showed up.
Yeah. Then Lola came out there, like great moment for the fans. I'm just not personally a fan of it, but there's no denying it. Like the energy level went like tripled, like when Lola came out. And it was not. It made that one guy happy. He was like, "Well, this ain't no New Japan," Like he probably had the biggest pop overall. But yeah, definitely successful match for the crowd. That was like one of the hottest moments of the match. So then we go to the Chase U again. And so Riley Osborne goes up to Thea Hale, the girl there. And he's all like, "Man, Thea, would you be my Valentine?" And Thea is like super hyped. She's like, yeah. And then JC Jane is like, "Ugh." You want to be with him? Pointless segment.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know the names of any of the Chase U people.
They're all bad.
To me, they're just the Chase U people. I don't know who any of them are at all.
Accurate. Good stuff. There, like you're showing that you're smart enough to not know. I mean, we praise you for that, Cheyenne. Then we get this weird, like, video that comes out where it's all like words, and it's like, every man has 3 faces. The one the world sees, the one his family sees, and the real one that no one sees. And so a lot of people are speculating that this is the Rainmaker, Okada.
Really?
Yeah. So the reason behind that is he is a free agent, and he's hotly debated where will he sign, either WWE or AEW. And this is apparently a Japanese proverb, like that was like written out in English here on this video.
So it's for sure that he's coming to America.
Yeah, he left it New Japan. But we just don't know if it's AEW or WWE.
Ooh.
And a lot of people are speculating this could be his vignette.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. I like Rainmaker. I like Okada.
The guy next to me said he thinks it'll be MJF, which was even dumber than Okada, but very funny if that happened.
I want to see him fight Shinsuke.
His old buddy from New Japan.
I know. That'll be a good match. We
talked about this on the Eastern Lariat, and AEW, man, they're such a interesting company, to say the least. There's positives and negatives to both of them. He has the same agent as Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay and the Young Bucks and all these guys that are in AEW. And he might have a personal relationship because a lot of those guys were in New Japan.
Yeah.
But I basically said, if you want him here, you know, give him the WrestleMania moment, overall. Because WrestleMania will always mean something to wrestlers. And if you give him a huge entrance, like the production values, he'll look like a megastar. I don't know if he would go to NXT, though. Like, if he came to WWE, they're putting him on Raw. I think it's probably more likely one of these guys they have in the background. They're just giving him a new spooky gimmick to feud with Joe Gacy or something. I don't think it'll be Okada. Not for this. I think if he went to WWE, it would be on Raw or SmackDown.
I completely agree. They're going to put him on like one of the main rosters. They're not going to put him on NXT.
Yeah, he's going to be facing Gunther for the IC title at WrestleMania, not the NXT.
If they're going to pay him a lot of money, they're going to want him on a popular platform where everyone can see him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So, yeah, absolutely.
So to see where he goes, because I mean, it's like you said, he knows a lot of people over in AEW. There's a few people on WWE too.
That have been there, yeah, that's true. You got Bronson Reed, you got Nakamura there, Finn, all were Japan guys.
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, if you're going based on that, it's a 50-50 chance. I Kota Ibushi.
I was about to bring him up. I was literally about to be there. If he goes to AEW, will you watch Okada's match?
Yes.
Because you did watch Ibushi's match in AEW. That's the only AEW match you've ever seen.
Is it the only one I've ever seen?
Yeah. Right? Have you seen more that you didn't tell me about?
Hold on.
I wanted you to watch the whole show, but you didn't. You tuned in when he came out.
No, I was trying to think if I've seen any before that, but I don't think I have. I think that really is the only.
You're trying to call me out for lying, but I'm telling the truth over and over, Shia.
I realized till you said that was actually literally the only AEW match I've ever seen ever. And I didn't think about it till you specifically pointed it out, but that is the only his matches. They should have gave him more screen time too.
Right, Okada will get screen time if he goes to AEW.
Well, oh yeah, he will. But what about Kota Ibushi?
He got injured in a match in Japan, and he's doing like push-ups on his head to recover.
won't someone sign him?
He is signed to AEW.
Oh, he is? I thought he was I thought he was a free agent.
Nah, AEW signed him. He's a free agent in Japan, but in America he signed to AEW. He just specifically asked that, like, can I still live in Japan? Y'all just call me when you need me and I'll be here.
And they were like, sure?
Yeah, exactly. Tony Khan was like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
But right now he's injured.
Yeah, he's hurt right now.
Well, that sucks.
When he comes back, I'll let you know, though.
I was going to say, why didn't you tell me that he signed to AEW?
I did. I wanted you to come on the show after you watched his match, for the record.
Yeah, but that was just a guest appearance. You didn't tell me he was signed. You said he was coming on as a guest appearance.
Oh, well, he was kind of a guest for that show. Maybe they didn't even announce it until after that match, but they did announce it, that he signed AEW.
Well, then I'm going to have to start watching AEW.
When he comes back, I will let you know for sure.
Yes, I will watch.
So then we got the semi-main event, the North American title match. Dragon Lee challenging Obafemi. So the crowd here, Oba was one of the most over people on the show. Outside of Shriek and Roxy, I think he might have been number 3 in terms of crowd support.
I agree with that. He definitely went over with the crowd, and honestly, I was surprised. I expected most people to be supporting Dragon Lee, but they weren't. They were going for Oba. And I was really surprised. I didn't expect that. Because, I know you and I were both for Dragon Lee.
This is why I try not to associate with people who don't like Dragon Lee. And we saw a lot of that here.
Even you were shocked that, everyone was for Oba.
He literally showed up, his first match was a month ago. And you're already picking him over Dragon Lee?
I know, even you were surprised.
No, and he's got something. Okay, I'm not hating on Oba. The guy in front of us, a row or two down from us, he had a sign that said "Rise of the Oba Feminist" on there, which was very funny, in my opinion.
Clearly he's got the size and the power, right?
He's got something, but he's super new and super green. He's done power stuff, but he's just new.
He's charismatic. You know what I mean? I can see why the people like him. But it's like you said, he's really new.
And so he hit the Irish curse, the Uranagi into the backbreaker, and he held him there, and the crowd started chanting one more time. And I was like, man, y'all doing my boy Dragon Lee wrong right now.
Remember when he did that move and Dragon Lee landed on the side of the ring on his chin?
Oh yeah. That made you gasp. You went back in your chair when he did that.
I did. I just I had a phantom pain for Dragon Lee. I saw it and I could feel how much it hurt. That hurt. It's like you said, that's the hardest part of the ring is the
apron.
Yeah. And he just slammed him down. He landed on his chin on his head, and it's just it hurts. You could tell that it hurts so bad.
I was super annoyed because I heard these guys going on about the table during this match because they took the top of the table off, but the Schrodinger's table for once didn't actually break because he had him and he threw him past the table into the chair and the guardrail, which is 10 times more painful than the table. One of the worst chants is the "We Want Tables" chants, and I was having none of this when people were talking about the tables.
Yeah, you had the same complaint during the no DQ match with Dijak and Gacy.
Forget the tables.
You got so irritated when people said "We want tables."
I'm extremely anti-table here. The weakest weapon that you could have. But
it's good impact and it's not as harmful as the other one. So isn't that a good thing?
Maybe.
How much violence do you want? Do you want these people to hurt?
I'm just trying to look out for the integrity of this business, Cheyenne.
I mean, it's maybe not the most painful weapon, right? But it's showful, right? Like you see the table break, you see them go through the table. Like it's visually appealing.
Seems like something Bret Hart would say. Like, you're not supposed to get hurt during wrestling. So if it looks devastating, it doesn't hurt. It's actually good.
Well, I mean, you don't want them to get injured. If they get injured, you can't see them wrestle, and they're people.
Okay, fine. The Dragon got a few hope spots, but
You like that guy when Dijak and Gacy were wrestling. It's like, bring out the chains.
it's like, bring out the thumbtacks.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
I think that was the a-hole section that chanted that first. And then somebody behind was like, good God, thumbtacks? Like, what do you people want?
I know, I remember.
Yeah. But still, though, I was hoping for a better reaction for Dragon. I thought he deserved it. But the crowd was all behind Oba here, and he got the win. What'd you think of the match?
Dragon Lee, like, he didn't just give it to him, though. Like, he worked hard, especially like when you put him in that octopus stretch.
You love the octopus stretch.
Well, I brought it up last time because of that rude lady behind us. And
yeah, forget her.
But, like, I mean, that's like a lot of skill. And that's not just, like, and that's, being smart because Dragon Lee's a lot smaller than Oba. So he, like, was really having to, like, use his head and strategize on how he can beat him. Because he knew you can't beat him, like, strength for strength, right?
Yeah.
So, well, okay, what would you rate? You go first this time. What would you rate him?
I thought it took a little bit to get going, honestly. I'd say about a 3 feels right.
You're going to go with the 3?
Maybe 2 3/4, but I'll be nice because you think I go low on everything, so I'll say 3 right away and see if I can escape your wrath on this one.
Dude, you've been lowballing. I will agree. I will give it a 3 as well.
Okay.
I will give it which is what I gave the Dijak and the Gacy match.
Yeah. So far at this point, the women's match is by far the match of the night.
Yes, at a 4.75.
Yeah, 4 3/4 there. Like on the edge of a 5-star rating here. Could we see it the first time ever?
And then, well, you know we will. You know what's next.
What's next first is Chase U again, because we cannot go without Lexis King coming in.
We really can. We literally do not have to talk about this.
So Lexis King, he was like hitting on Thea, was like, oh, like nice calendar, babe. And then Riley Osborne was like, what are you doing, man? Cut it out. And Lexis King was like, you need a real man, not this geek. And then, of course, they brawl afterwards. And they're like, no, don't do it. So then we got an interview with Ava, and this is where the crowd started to boo her again. Not necessarily because of her, but I'm pretty sure it's because of The Rock that they started to boo her there. They did a quick segment with Blade and Inoue, who had a really good match in the tag tournament, by the way, against Trick and Mello, I think. Maybe that, yeah. So they're going in there, and they're going on. This girl, who I still don't know the name of, actually, was there. And they're talking about how, like, we got all positives in our future. Then Axiom and Nathan Frazier come in, and Frazier's like, what are you guys talking about? This is really lame. And Axiom's like, and he said something like, you got to deliver the hard truths. And then Axiom was like, no, you don't. Axiom was like totally not buying into his partner's nonsense here. The girl says, like, hypothetical questions gives us hypothetical answers. So let's find 2 teams with 1 winner. She smiles and acts perky, and then does a cartwheel. And they all look confused at this. Finally, we get the recap video of Shriek and Ilya. Everything going along with him and Carmelo and all the story that led up to this. they play the video, and this is it. Trick Williams versus Ilya Dragunov for the NXT World Title. So one thing I want to point out here. During this, like, the crowd went crazy with the whoop that tricks because we got the full entrance this time instead of getting cut off with Carmelo. I don't know if you heard me, Shai, when I was doing this. I was doing all of Booker T's ad libs.
I don't know if you noticed, but like right there at the end, that guy behind you started joining in.
Yeah. I heard it. But okay, so his version, he tried to do it again, but he did it worse than I did because he was just going, he just did over and over, but I did the full gamut. I did the that's trick. I did the I like it. And oh yeah, man, I was doing it all. Like I went through the full Booker T ad-libs, which I told you I was gonna do the night before the show.
You did. You did tell me that. And
you're not as familiar, like because you didn't watch NXT that much. You haven't been aware as much of a meme as this Booker T ad-libs have come. But I heard from another review, shout out What's Next on Post Wrestling. They mentioned that they heard people doing the ad-libs. So I may have come across somehow, like onto the screen, or maybe a lot of other people were doing it too, just to have fun and goof around, which I approve of as well, of course. But yeah, I did it first, and somebody tried to jump in, but he didn't know all of them. He just knew that I was going crazy doing Booker T stuff, and just wanted to join in. And that was my highlight. I was greatly amused at myself for that. If you look on the screen during the main event. So this is when there was a family next to us, and they asked us to scoot over to one of the empty seats. So I think you said like a kid wanted a seat, right? Or the mom wanted a seat for one of the kids.
Yeah, she had like her young child, like maybe but not like much older than a baby.
Yeah, like in between, like very early toddler level at most.
She asked us if we could scoot down so she could sit the kid down in a seat.
Yeah, I wish she had asked beforehand if it was a problem. Like, we would have gladly scooted down, which we did for the match here. And that's when the guy next to us, when he moved down, I asked him, I was like, yeah, you enjoying the show? And he's like, I'm here for Trick. All right, like, I forget what he said. He's like, I'm here for Whoop That Trick or whatever. And I was like, all right, let's go. So that's when I started doing the ad-libs. But I would love it if that caught on. That was awesome. And you could see, because when we moved over, if you know where to look, I do get some camera time. I've looked it up. I spotted myself in the crowd multiple times. Even during the main thing WWE posted on their Twitter of Carmelo sitting over Trick after he attacked him, you could see us both in the background, and we're going to talk about that after the match here. But the match to me was like by far the best match on the show, the main event. First of all, we got to give it up to these guys. We got some blood in this match here. We noticed here. Trick had already, I think the busted mouth had happened in the first match.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he came in, and there was a part where he was on the outside, and the match, like Ilya was in the ring and Carmelo was checking on him. I didn't know if somebody was hurt or what, but then they showed the doctors running around as well.
Well, I noticed something was wrong because I noticed that they turned the screen off.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. They cut the screen off because I think there was blood. But they ended up like they didn't. It's not like they did it and he wasn't bleeding anymore. He was still bleeding when the match continued. And then Ilya got busted open as well. So we got double blood in Clarksville for the first ever WWE show here, which I was really surprised by that they didn't do it.
And we're doing the count out. And wasn't Carmelo trying to tell him like it was okay or something?
Yeah, he was like, yeah.
Yeah.
This might have came across better on the TV version than where we were at, because we were on the hard camera side. But I mean,
it was fantastic.
Yeah, this match ruled. Like these two worked so hard. And Trick himself is like a new guy, relatively speaking. Like Ilya's been at this for a long time, like a decade or whatever, and Trick has been around for he's been around for a couple of years, but in reality, he's really only started like seriously wrestling maybe 6 months ago. And look where he's at.
He's really good. Like you can tell he's really good. And like the crowd was amazing. Like the whole time,
yeah.
the whole time it was whoop that trick.
Oh, Ilya got big boos here, which I was surprised by because like he's normally like a fan favorite. Everybody respects him and likes him, but not in Clarksville because I don't think it was because of him. Kind of like earlier with Lyra, because it's funny because both these matches here were babyface matches. Like both guys were good, like Lyra and Roxanne and Trick and Ilya. But in Clarksville, Ilya was the bad guy because they booed him. He got a ton of heat, and whoop that Trick was going crazy.
Man, it was so insane. It was so hyped up. The crowd was so hyped. And Ilya and Trick put on a great match. Like, it was a 5-star match. I'm just going to go ahead and say it was a 5-star match.
You going full Meltzer right now, 5-star?
Are you going to tell me it wasn't?
Okay, so the atmosphere was amazing. Like, I will give them that. And the match was awesome. And I loved, like, the blood was cool. Like, they worked their butt off.
And here you go. You're going to lowball it.
I'm not going to give it 5 stars. No. I mean, but to be fair, though, if you look at the cage match, this has a 9.19 rating, which is really high. Like, that's one of the best WWE matches all year in terms of ratings. And I agree with that. But to me, everybody knows, if you've ever listened to my shows, I am a hard grader. I admit that.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I do it for all wrestling. I've taken the bump, Cheyenne. You know, Cheyenne. I've been in the ring. I have the trained eye. I have the mystical vision. I am a jerk. Deep down. But no, like, in all honesty, though.
Know all the moves and the stuff and the whatchamacallits, and then you're critical.
Yeah, I'm an analytical, I like to think.
Yeah.
But this was still awesome, though. Like, just because I don't give it 5, like, okay, so the way my star rating system works, if I give it 3.5 or a 7 out of 10 on Cage Match, that to me is a recommendation. That means, like, this is a good match. You should take time out of your day to watch it.
Okay.
If I give a 4-star rating or 8 out of 10, then that is like a great match, like highly recommended on my point, like guaranteed you'll like it, pretty much.
Okay.
4.5 is like, or a 9. That level is like for surefire match of the year level match. Like, it will be in my top 10 at the end of the year. And 10 is like one of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my life, which is very hard to get. I don't give out 5-star ratings very often.
Right.
But the way they did this was, I love the blood, and so here's the thing. There's a certain point in this match where Ilya goes to the middle rope and hits the H-bomb, like the elbow to the face from the middle rope.
Yeah.
That flipped everything. Because like they were super hot for the whole match, but when that happened, the crowd went insane. And they came through, like, once that happened, the whole vibe changed. Like, they were ready for a Trick to win the title then, I think. And if he had won, I think I would have been, like, on another level. Like, okay, this is an amazing piece of business, like, match of the year level. But.
And he came so close so many times. Like.
Oh, the crowd was with it. After the H-bomb kick out from the middle rope, like, go back and watch the show. Like, the crowd was just different than they'd been at any point during the show beforehand. Like, if he had won the title, I think they would, like, people would have rushed the ring or something like that because they were so hyped for it overall. But they came in, and I love the finish. If you, just, again, as an analytical fan, I loved how they set up the ending to the match because they had gone back and forth at it. They did some shenanigans with Carmelo, which I didn't really like that much in the match, but they came across really well on the TV version that I watched afterwards, because when he kicks out of the middle rope H-bomb, Carmelo's on the outside looking disappointed the whole time when Ilya's going up top, and the announcer's like, he knows he can't watch his brother like lose this match, and he knows it's all going to end with this H-bomb. So he hits him with it, And when Trick kicks out, the whole crowd's going crazy, like the loudest pop of the whole night. Whoop that Trick, blah blah blah. And they cut to Carmelo, and he's like smiling, like, "Yeah, he's back, baby. He did it." There was a part 2 where Carmelo took a swing at Ilya, and Ilya ducked it, and then shoved Carmelo into Trick's leg, which they kept going back to the part of the match. And when he was about to hit the Trick knee, his knee gave out, and Ilya immediately turned it into a powerbomb. So they played off of all the stuff earlier. They had the stuff with Carmelo. I think that a little dragged a little bit. But the finishing stretch was they had done through all this stuff, this war of a match, and on one corner, Trick like crawled up to the middle rope and tapped his knee, like, "Will you hold up for me, baby, one more time?" And Ilya was doing his Torpedo Moscow deal to the crowd. Nobody was chanting for the Torpedo Moscow. Like in other matches, everybody goes for it. But in this show, it was whoop that Trick the whole time. So he was doing his thing. They were on opposite corners. They ran at each other like a joust, like running at each other full throttle. One guy went for the knee. The other guy went for the Torpedo Moscow, the headbutt. And Ilya just hit him with the headbutt, like over the knee, and got the pinfall for the win. I thought it was executed great. The moment was amazing. And when he won, it was like hot air coming out of a balloon. You know, like air got popped out of the balloon. It was like such a flat, like disappointing ending because everybody wanted Trick to win so much.
I know, it was like the whole arena was like a giant gasp of air.
Yeah.
Like everyone was shocked. It was amazing. It was devastating. It was so sad.
And both men bled, laid it all on the line.
And like, we wanted him to win so bad. Everyone wanted him to win so bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this was a different level than anything else on the show in terms of crowd reactions. I give it 4 1/4 here, which is
4 1/4.
I'm taking my fan hat off here because the vibe was what made it so special for us because we were there in the arena. I've tried to watch it just as it is.
I don't care. I'm going for the vibe. I say 5 stars.
Hell yeah, you should.
I don't care about none of that other stuff. It was a 5-star match. I enjoyed it. It was a great match. It was fun. They worked hard. It was a long match.
And the moment was incredible. Like if he had won, I probably would have thrown everything out and be like, "This is a match of the year. Forget it. It's 5 stars." Like that's how high the vibe was for it. But well, he lost.
Wait. What did you give? I gave the women's title match a 4.75. What did you give that?
I refuse to rate that because I don't think it's fair to rate 2 matches in one. But I will say it worked great for the audience. The second half of the match was a lot better than the first, in my opinion. Like once Lola Vice got in, I thought that made the match a lot better.
You probably just don't want to give Roxy a low rating.
No, it has nothing to do with Roxy. Like she's fine. She wrestled all right. Like I said, if anything, the first part of the match again, when it was just her and Lyra, was worse than when Lyra came in my opinion. Like I don't think they wrestled that great. I admire them for trying to do a technical match. I just don't think it came across that well overall.
The beginning of the match was when they were doing the grappling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just wasn't that great, in my opinion.
The last match, Ilya versus Trick.
That match ruled. Like, that was a great match. Highly recommended. Everybody should, like, immediately, if you haven't seen it, check it out.
Not even that match. Like, the whole show, like, NXT Vengeance. Like, if you got Peacock, if you like wrestling, you should watch it. It was a great show. Like, beginning to end, you should watch it.
If you like Bring Me the...
You might even see Dylan. You might even see him in there.
Especially the main event angle, I did get some camera time. Like, if you know where to look. Like, I was wearing a Grizzlies jersey and I had my chain on. So you like, if you spot me, you could see me. Like, you know, I get some camera time for sure.
I'm to him in the pink hat.
The beanie. Yeah.
And now it's time for the end.
So let me ask you this, Cheyenne. What about if you're a fan of Bring Me the Horizon?
I mean, doesn't everybody like Bring Me the Horizon?
Well, you heard them a lot on this show. They played it a million times. As I said, their song.
Well,
This
yeah,
was
it was the theme song for the pay-per-view.
it was good. Like, hey, I'm with you, Shine. You see, you're wanting to argue with me when I agree with you.
I'm not trying to argue with me. It's like you're trying to set me up for an argument.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
I mean, it was a good song. It's Bring Me the Horizon. You know, a lot of people know the band, young and
Yeah, they've been around forever.
yeah, and like WWE usually picks like rock songs from well-known rock bands for their theme songs.
So after putting it off, so this ends. Ilya goes to the top of the stage. He's raising the the title above his head, and it's a triumphant win for Ilya. Carmelo's in the
And I would like to point out that after the match ended between Ilya and Trick, after Trick lost, like some people started to go ahead and leave.
I saw that too. Yeah, big mistake on their part.
I know, they were like, we're done, it's over, we're gone.
Well, it was such a bummer that Trick lost, so yeah. But they should have stuck around because so Ilya's at the top of the ramp posing with the title. Carmelo's in the ring with Trick, and he's like, and you can hear, like, we didn't hear what he was saying on the TV version. You hear it. He's like you were so close, man. You were so close. Like, Doug, you'll always be my brother. Like, we'll always be in this together. We'll always be here. It's all good. Like, don't worry, you'll get him. So he's being like a true friend. I remember, like, I was thinking, wow, they got Carmelo being a true friend here, like here at the end. And so everything's good. And this totally comes across on the Peacock version, if you watch it. So there's a brief moment where, like, Trick starts to leave the ring. He starts to walk out, and then Carmelo circles behind him. And in that moment, Trick stops, and you hear the crowd gasp, like, oh no, like, you know, like, they realize what's about to happen. Like, it happens like 2 seconds before he actually does it. The crowd catches on that, like, he's about to turn on him. And they're like, no. And so then Trick turns around, boom, Carmelo hits him with the chop block on the knee. He goes outside and grabs the chair. He blasts his leg over and over. And the crowd was pissed. This got by far. Like I said earlier, this crowd wasn't really here to boo anybody for the most part. They were here to chant along and whoop that Trick. They just wanted to see Trick win the title, like, really, for the most part. But they got into the excitement and the whirlwind drama of the women's match. But they went on. They booed this man out of the building. They were chanting, Carmelo sucks. He sat down on him and talked trash to him, laid the shirt down, the Trick Mello gang. And I looked at Cheyenne when this happened. And if you had stood up, you would have 1,000% gotten on camera, like a zoomed in camera shot to your reaction. Because your hands were over your mouth. You were shocked at this.
I was shocked. I was aghast. I can't believe he did that to him. I mean, he'd have been acting shady, like on the episode that we watched. I'm like, he's acting kind of shady. But
yeah,
like,
you kind of already got that vibe when they were in the tag tournament. Yeah.
Yeah, but like to see him do it, I was like, oh, I couldn't believe it. It was so shocking. Like, I was just like, it was a lot. Like, it was unexpected. I couldn't believe it.
Your emotions were at a really big moment there.
It was like, it really played with my emotions.
Go on.
Here's one of the things though. So where we were sitting, right? Like when he was, cause you know, the camera was the opposite direction of us, right?
Yeah.
That was facing us where we were sitting. So I was watching him hit Trick with the chair, right?
Yeah.
But from where we were sitting, I'm pretty sure I saw him just hitting the mat in between his legs.
No. That's ridiculous, Cheyenne.
I know. And I'm like, you could have did that better.
The first couple of times, if you're gonna be, now you're sounding like me, analyzing things like that.
Well,
But
I mean, it was still shocking because he turned on him, right?
yeah.
But like, it was when we were standing, it was pretty clear that he wasn't actually hitting his leg. I think like the last time he actually hit his leg.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like the first 3 or 4 shots was like straight up missed, like all on the mat. Like no contact whatsoever. But he started to hit him for real like the last 2 or 3 times, I think. He started
like with the cameras being on the other side, like it would look like on the cameras that he was hitting his leg.
Yeah, on TV, like it probably looked a lot better.
But like the very last time he swung the chair, he actually hit his leg. But I couldn't believe he did that.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe he did that. It was a lot for me to take in. Like
legit the whole time. Like this angle was going on, this entire beating, her hands were over her mouth and her head, like, oh my god, no.
I did. That was exactly how I felt. That was exactly what I was thinking. Poor Trick. Screw Carmelo Hayes.
Like I said, the way it was done, like the crowd added a lot to the last match, in my opinion. As much as the in-ring work was good, like the crowd added a lot to it, clearly. And I've heard reviews too about that like a lot of people think that the crowd added to the match, which I'm very happy about. I'm glad the crowd showed up and Clarksville had a good showing. You know, because you don't want to come in there and it's a dead crowd or whatever. And like I said, a lot of the show they weren't super hyped for when it comes to like Gacy and Dijak and all the 6-man tag and all that. But for Trick, this crowd was ballistic, like for the main event. I would say the angle came across like really emotional, like really well done. The crowd was going nuts for it. And also, if you watch the TV version, the Peacock version, there's a part where they try to like bleed in audio to it, where it's like it's saying Mello sucks, but the crowd got louder than the audio they tried to sweeten it up with, and they were saying "F you, Mello," and they got louder than the audio they tried to put it in there. The crowd went to business for themselves because they were so pissed at Mello.
Yeah, I remember that. That's true. He deserved it. Unlike Carmelo deserved it.
He was like I said, it was it'll build though. The great thing about it is, like when Trick goes for revenge, that's gonna be like an epic moment.
Honestly, like I can't remember the last time I saw someone turn heel like that. That was like such a like epic moment.
Yeah.
You know, like it was such a betrayal. Like like I said, I don't really watch wrestling as much, but I can't remember like the last time where a betrayal was that big, had that same impact as when he turned on Trick.
Like I said, the crowd made it even better than it was, I feel like, because there's that split second before he does it that they realize what he's about to do.
I know. Like everyone, like you could tell everyone in the arena realized it at the same time that like it was about to happen.
Yeah, then he did it, and the crowd gave an amazing reaction to it. They were like super heat on Mello, like the first time all night overall. So, like I said, when they build up to Trick and Mello 1-on-1, that's going to be an epic match. So it totally worked from that standpoint.
We must watch it.
We will. We totally will on Wrestle Update as well. You know, maybe that'll be your second appearance for Wrestle Update.
You must let me know when it happens so that I can watch it. I must see Trick. Whoop that Trick.
And then afterwards, they had the video you posted on their YouTube where Carmelo was walking and he just said, "Whooped."
Oh yeah, whatever. Carmelo sucks.
So it was 99% Trick in the main event, but I will say there was like 2 guys that were to the bottom and right of us, like the row section wise or whatever, and they were super into Ilya. Like they were doing the mad conductor stuff for his entrance, and he was like, it was like the only 2 people that liked Ilya in the arena.
I did. I didn't really pay attention to the other sections, but I did notice. I did notice the guys because they were the only guys in our section at least who
Yeah.
was with Ilya, who like were really behind them.
Yeah, and then after the heel turn, the guy that was rooting for Ilya stood up and said, Trick got whooped.
Whatever.
But yeah, everybody thought it, like, walking out, like we all left the arena afterwards, and it seemed like everybody liked the show here, at least in the arena. I got a high rating even on the cage match. I mean, the show itself is like 8.5 right now.
I was gonna say, like, what would you rate the show as a whole? Like, as a whole.
It's not fair because being live, that's obviously gonna make me like it more, right? It's like I can't grade it accurately because I was there.
You just rate it from your heart.
I don't have a heart, Shy.
Isn't that your thing?
Like I said, the show to me, the main event was like saved the show to me. Like if you just look at it as a wrestling show, like the main event was where it was at, and there was good. Like nothing was like too terrible outside of the 6-man, which was just like really not good. But 5 out of 6 matches all around at least solid, and then the main event was freaking awesome. And there was one match I thought was bad. It was a good show, and the vibe and the crowd definitely helped it. I'll give it 8 out of 10. That's my favorite number. That's the number I wore on my jersey, Cheyenne, when I was there. To you, it was a 10.
I will accept your 8 out of 10.
As a fan, like the vibe was like a 10 out of 10 vibe, like being there.
I give it a 10 out of 10, but you can give it
an
8.
I want you to give it a 10 out of 10. I want you to have fun, and I want us to go again one day.
Oh yeah, we have to go again. We must go again. They need to come back.
And the production values were really on top of things. Like I said, I didn't like the red lighting that much, to be honest with you, but it's fine. It gave it like you said, it was for atmosphere. I get it overall. But everything was like super slick, super professional, all that stuff. I give them a lot of credit for it. And for a first time ever show, ultimately, again, if you just watch this, if you weren't there and just watch this as a fan, this was a filler show in the grand scheme of things. None of the titles changed hands. Until the ending, nothing big happened, but they did do the turn to at least get us there. A lot of this could have happened on TV and it would have been fine. Like Dijak and Gacy and the 6-man tag, that could have easily happened on a regular NXT TV show. Some of the tag matches were better than those matches that we saw on the NXTs that we came in. But the vibe of the PLE or whatever, and the pay-per-view and all that stuff, the show and the crowd being so hot for it, that was what made it more special than the in-ring action, in my opinion. But the main event, I would highly recommend. And being there, I don't think we could talk fairly, because obviously I just was so happy you were having fun, in all honesty. Like that was my main thing.
I am talking fairly from my opinions.
And you're right. You have the right to have them. I'm not knocking you, Cheyenne. You're the one attacking me, not the other way around.
So your analytical rating.
So you're out here trying to call me a liar. I didn't lie. You're trying to be harsh on my ratings. I never talk trash on your ratings. You're the worst.
Well, that's just rude.
But I love you, though.
Well, I love you too, but that was still rude.
I'm sorry. I apologize. But you were being mean the whole show. You're rude.
I was not being mean. I just couldn't believe you were lowballing the matches. I felt like you were lowballing them.
And that's your right. So maybe, listen, the inmates agree with you for the most part, like the cage match raiders.
I know, like, I know that you know your stuff. Like, I know.
I don't even know if I know my stuff.
You know your stuff. I don't know anyone else who knows more about wrestling. And I know you know your
That's a lot.
stuff. It's not a lot. You know your moves, you know all the stuff that goes into wrestling and like the technical stuff and the stuff that's really hard and the stuff that, like, I know you know all about that. So I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why people like you, right? Because you're analytical.
Like we were taking a leap of faith saying people like me. Cheyenne.
Like you. It's because of how you view the matches, you know what I mean? Like you're really like you're looking in depth into it and you're giving them like a full analysis of the match. And so I get that.
You just had a great time. That's what I wanted. I wanted you to have a fun time, man.
I wanted you to have a good time too. Did you have a good time too?
Like I said, my mindset was emoing out because of my wrestlery parts of myself. But
I could tell like the beginning when we just got there that you were kind of like, you know what I mean, like in your head. But I felt like by the time the show started, like you were able to like get into it.
Yeah, and like I said, seeing you there having fun, it helped a lot. Like it would have been so much worse if like I didn't have somebody there with me that was family or whatever on there. So it was a good show. It was like going there again as a live experience was like really good. Like they did a great job overall, and we had funny stories to tell about being there live too, which I do appreciate that as well.
I don't like that lady. Oh.
Nah, she sucked. She was really annoying. But it's okay, though. Like I said, hopefully everybody had a good time. It felt like everybody had fun. Like I said, when we left out, like all the reactions were pretty much positive to the show itself.
Oh yeah, everyone had a good time. I didn't hear anyone saying anything negative.
Yeah, and even after the devastating turn at the end as well. Which, like I said, if you look hard enough, you could see Cheyenne with her hands over her head and me pointing my finger at Carmelo. Because when I saw you get so shocked by it, I tried to step forward a little bit where we were at and like point my finger at him and look angry. So I was really hoping they would show me on camera, like zoom in on it.
Honestly, because I know before you said that, like if I had stood up, I probably would have been on camera. We would have been on camera. But
I think you would have for sure.
If you had just pulled me up, like if you just grabbed my arm and pulled me up, I was so in shock. I would have just stood up. I would have just went with it.
Yeah, like I said, but it was good though. A lot of people had shocked reactions if you look at the Peacock version. So there, but yeah, it was a good show. I wasn't trying to lowball it at all overall. But still, I'm so happy that we got to talk about it, get to go to the show, and have a great time. Like I said, I hope we could go again one day.
I agree. I definitely want to go again. You know what I mean? Especially if they come to town. It was a great show. It was a great experience. It was so much fun. It was so awesome. Like if you have the chance, you should definitely go see a show in person. Everything is always better in person.
And I think many people would agree with you on that for sure. Hopefully you'll come back on Wrestle Update one day as well.
You know what? I'm not going to say I won't. I didn't think I'd be on here this time. Here I am. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? The future is an open door that we have to walk through together. But all right. I think that's about it. We've talked a lot about this live experience, this full show, and all that goes along with it.
Yeah, we have. I mean, we covered everything.
Cheyenne's not really on like social media or anything like that, so she doesn't have anything to plug, really, or anything like that.
No, but you know what you should do? You should go on YouTube and you should subscribe and like to the Eastern Lariat podcast. It's on YouTube. Hit that button. Hit that subscribe button. Listen to the podcast. Listen to Eastern Lariat. Listen to this one too, Wrestle Update. You should listen.
Yeah, Wrestle Update definitely has its own YouTube page, which you are I hope very much you subscribe to, and Instagram for Eastern Lariat, and Twitter and X for Wrestle Update. So listen to all of our shows.
Yeah, go to all the platforms. And if you're listening to this, you're probably on them. Go subscribe. Hit the like button. Comment. You know what I mean?
a nice comment about Cheyenne, she will like it very much. Like, it will make her very happy if you enjoyed her on the show, even though she kind of roasted me sometimes.
It will. It will make me happy. And tell Dylan that you like him too. Tell him.
You don't have to do that.
Tell him that you think that he lowballed the ratings. That's fine too. Feel free to agree with me as much as possible. As much as possible.
Everybody's got opinions, Cheyenne. I respect them all. Even if you gave every match 5 stars.
I did not give every match 5 stars.
But I'm saying, even if you did, I still would respect it, because that's your opinion. At the end of the day, I accept other people's opinions happily. And so anybody's welcome to express it. If you like the show, if you love the show, if you had fun hearing our goofy stories about the F&M Bank Arena that we went to.
Oh, and let Dylan know if you saw him on the show. Go look for him.
Yeah, see if you can find me.
It'd be like a modern day Where's Waldo.
That's right. I'm pretty, like I said, if you know what to look for, I'm pretty obvious. The spot, honestly. Just look for the Grizzlies jersey and the chain, and you'll find me. There. Like, I'm pretty much like directly across the hard camera. I think maybe to the right, a little bit like a top right from the hard camera directly. But if you know what to look for, you can see me. So, yeah, that'd be fun. A fun little game for all the Wrestle Update listeners out there. The W crew at it again. Cheyenne, my sister, is a part of it as well. Always good times. And check out the Eastern Lariat, especially the Patreon, if you do like us as well, because we at patreon.com/Eastern Lariat, we do have the TigerCast W as well, which we're going to get back on very soon, hopefully.
Yes, we will. And it's completely my fault every time. I will admit to that. It is my fault every time. It is not his that we take a short hiatus.
We'll be back. Maybe one day back on Wrestle Update as well. I hope so. Hopefully everybody enjoyed the show. And hopefully you guys enjoyed NXT Vengeance today. And the city of Clarksville left a good impression on you. Donate to the Red Cross as well. Help the victims of the tornadoes if you can. Enjoy any kind of wrestling you want to talk about. AEW, WWE, Japan, Mexico, wherever you like. Me and Nello will be back later, I think probably on the weekend. Maybe a little sooner because he's going to be actually coincidentally at the AEW show this week as well. So me and Nello will talk in the future. You'll get a normal Wrestle Update, but this is a special live report episode of Wrestle Update. Very happy to do it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, you know I love you. And this has been your Wrestle Update.
Ducky, quack, quack. What? Yeah.